I'm gonna ask is, are you ready? That's the question.
I'm ready.
Oh, but we're here. Look at that. And it's a Monday night, and we're back. 520 IXC. Yay. Who's excited for that, man? Like, Katie, we'll see. Before you hopped on, man, like, it's like my camera keeps freezing every few minutes, but my audio's fine.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Doing stuff a little bit different tonight. So
well, it's storming out where I am as well, so we'll see
Oh, yeah,
if we make it through the day.
dude, what do you have on your chest?
Man,
like
so
Iron
listen,
Man? You just
it's not my heart. It's not proof that KD has a heart. Um, my kids got me this, man. Today is my birthday, so they like, hey,
Whoa.
you got weird.
Oh man, he's jumping ahead. Okay, we're gonna do this anyway. Swiss, you ready? Swiss,
I'm ready.
knock.
Who's there?
KD's birthday's here! Yay! Happy birthday, KD!
Happy birthday.
Yo, that's hilarious. Hey. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. That's crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
Man, still, dude, this guy gets on this show when it's his anniversary. Wait, no, that was EB. EB got on here when his anniversary. Katie gets on his birthday. I'm like, y'all, we could push a week.
It's called dedication, man. Dedication.
Man.
So KD is 32 years young.
Thank you.
Today. Boom, boom,
32,
yeah.
more like 50. 52?
Dang.
Bro,
Why
are you trying to push me?
42. 42?
Nah, bro. Who wouldn't mind? I'm not finna put my business out.
I'm finna put something out there. I'm gonna tell you this much, man. One, for anyone hanging out watching this, please tell Katie some happy birthdays in the chat tonight. I'm gonna probably say that throughout the show as a little reminder. But also, shout out to Mrs. KD. If you go to yieldedmusic.com, you can send KD a nice little birthday donation gift. Bless him.
Buy this man a cup of coffee.
Buy him a cup of a refreshing drink with mango in it.
Yo, you know the Simply Orange like juice that you can get at the store? They have a Simply Mango. Oh my gosh. So good.
Duncan had like a mango pineapple refresher that they get in the summertime, dude.
That sounds good.
It's legit.
They still have it. I drink it regularly throughout the week.
It's legit, dude. That's what
it is.
Probably running in my veins right now.
In the house.
Big facts.
Oh, bye, B.
Oh, first casualty.
Go. Oh,
the Starlink strikes again.
There he is.
There he is.
But no, like, hey, mango pineapple refreshers, legit. Just so you know.
Yeah, it is.
Like, whenever I worked my old district, I had to drive by a Dunkin' every day. So it would be tempting.
How about Duncan getting all this free press tonight?
Yeah. Hit us up, Duncan.
Yeah, come on, D.
So again, go to yieldedmusic.com, man, and bless our guy KD on his birthday, which is today. So
I appreciate
it. Yeah, man, let's get into this. It's 520 IXC live on a Monday, August 18th, 2025. Yeah. EB here, you already know. Hit me up on X. Hey,
there we go. Hello, Faja.
So normally I would start with Swiss, but since it's his birthday, KD, go ahead and say some stuff.
Nah, happy Monday. It's another Monday. We were here last week. Had a great time. Ended off on a high note. And now we're back again this week. So, yeah, happy Monday.
All the birthday wishes are rolling in from the fam. Titus is here saying happy birthday.
This is the one episode that your kids decide to tune
Hey,
into.
kids, make sure you subscribe while you're here, okay?
Yeah. Send it to all your friends too. Come on.
Yeah, and then watch. So help us out here. Swiss is in the house. Swiss, what's good?
Man, busy day today. I'm exhausted. I'm like, when we're done with this, I'm gonna eat dinner and go to bed. I'm gassed.
Word up.
Started really early today, so I'm already like burning the oil right now.
Yeah, man. Kids are back in the building tomorrow at school. It's gonna be fantastic.
Nice. You're gonna like the night before school starts back up. Do you typically sleep pretty well, or are you anxious?
I don't know. It's hit or miss. I don't think I'm that anxious at this point. I mean, this is just my 8th year, I guess, in teaching, so it's not as bad as early on. But I also got some of those ZQL I can take if I need to here in a little bit. So
no, don't let them get to you, bro. Praying you have an amazing school year.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it too. I think it's gonna be fun, man. I think I'm the most prepared that I've been at any year.
Praise God.
So
what's up?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
dude, so we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, and we were like, hey, we should talk about this more this week. So we've seen some stuff like this before. We got some videos that Swiss grabbed for us that we're gonna check out here. But there was this video of this guy that was like, hey, I became a Christian rapper, and by becoming a Christian rapper, it kind of took me further away from Jesus. It was like the name of the video. So
it was a little clickbaity though.
Maybe so. Maybe
Title.
so.
I don't know.
But
we'll discuss.
But the question that I was kind of asking was like, hey, whenever you're talking about entertainment, when you're talking about certain levels of fame being involved, and especially when you're talking about the money, the financial aspect, whenever that is directly responsible for your livelihood and it's tied to faith, can that make it a struggle or not? And that's kind of what the question we're going to ask here tonight. But Swiss, I'm going to turn it over to you, man. We're going to check out some clips and we're going to discuss it. So have at it.
I'll just start by saying that the video is about 10 minutes long, and I just kind of clipped a couple, clipped like 8 clips out of this just for us to react to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick brief overview of the whole video, and then we can kind of hit the clips to see like where we're going. So this gentleman, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Do you? Oh, I just lost it. I just had it up too, and I just lost it. It's like Urize or something like that is his name. I'm not familiar with any of his music. I think I've seen his Moses song that he brings up. But anyways, this Christian artist talks about how he became a Christian, stopped making secular music, started making music towards God, realized he was making it for himself, and it kind of turned him away from feeling the presence of the Lord, and that now he's in a season of not making music is basically the gist of it. But I thought the way that he tells the story is really interesting in how we could kind of look at just kind of some pitfalls or even just some warnings. I think a good thing about this video is it is a good kind of let my hindsight be your foresight kind of video, especially for up and coming young rappers that could be getting into the game or who may also be switching from secular music to Christian music. But the first clip here is just, this is how long that this gentleman has been a Christian.
2023, that's when I started. That's when I came to Christ. That's mainly when I came to Christ back in August.
So this guy's been a Christian for 2 years, essentially. And he's already going through a crisis of faith within 2 years. The next clip that I think I want to react to the first 2 clips first here, because I think they're really telling, because it's going to give you an interesting timeline.
Before that, I was making secular music. Then after that, when I came to Jesus, I completely put it down. I said, I'm not making no more music ever again. And that's just what it was. Then after a month or so, a good month, I remember hearing God. He told me, hey, make a song that glorifies me.
So this guy has given his life to Jesus, and within a month, he's hearing from God telling him to make music to glorify him.
After saying, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yes, exactly. So as the actual artist out of the 3 of us here, Katie, I'm interested in kind of your take on how you go from I'm going from secular music to Christian music, and then within a month, I'm already hearing from God to make music.
You would call me out on this. All right. So crazy. So here's the thing about this. Okay. I have a very, very, very similar testimony to my beginning in my walk. I also had determined that I would no longer make music because I just wanted to know the Lord. Literally, that September, well, that the late August of the year that I got serious and saved for real. I had just put out a solo project, secular. Turn around, next couple of months from that, and I'm in church, and I'm like serious, and I'm like, yo, I'm not messing with this anymore. The part though that, and I'm not saying what he's saying is impossible,
right?
But what I will say is this: most of my time was spent literally praying and fasting, because I had also gotten laid off from my job, so I was at the crib just praying and fasting and going to church and doing nothing else. I ain't had no job. I ain't had nothing to do. And it wasn't Friday. It was Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday too. So that was just kind of where I was with it. Eventually, the Lord started to deal with me. But you have to be in a ministry that's going to teach you how to hear from God. My only passion in that moment was to know him. I wanted relationship, not what I had grown up on, not what I had become accustomed to. Because I was raised in a Baptist church, so there were some questionable things in terms of how to actually live the life. It was church, it wasn't kingdom. It was church, it wasn't discipleship. It was church, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, maturity in the Lord. So I really wanted to know Jesus for myself, and so I dedicated that time to him. And for 6 months, again, there was nothing but church and crib and prayer and fasting. You know what I'm saying? So what he's saying is possible after a month, though. It's very soon. And then again, you have to be in a ministry that is going to teach you how to hear from God, so that you know you hear from him, because you can hear something that sounds like it's something that God would say, but even scripture tells us how, the enemy, is transformed into, a messenger, or masquerades as a messenger of light. And so you can absolutely be deceived with something that sounds godly, but may not be God. And so that part is important, because if you're a month into salvation, you don't know a lot about discernment. You don't know how to try the spirit by the spirit to see if it's so there's layers and levels to stuff like this. What he's saying is possible, but I question it and challenge it because of what happens later in the story.
Well,
haven't seen him and haven't seen B+ in the chat in a while. What's up, brother? Miss you.
B+, man.
B+ got to go to holy smoke.
I've got a question, man. Kind of follow up to this, and because maybe they don't say I wasn't going to make music anymore, period. But I think specifically when we look at Christian hip hop, I think there's a lot of artists who have something similar to this, where maybe they were just like, yo, I didn't know if I would make music because I didn't know that like Christian rap was a possibility or a thing. I didn't know that. So what did I know? like, do you think it's more of like when people get that feeling specifically with hip hop, it's sort of like, well, the way I know how to make music right here, and there's no way I can do it like I was.
It wasn't.
And it be
For me, it wasn't because
God,
I started rapping in church. Before I got into secular music, I started in church. I'm not going to date myself, but I've been around, you know what I'm saying, this space for a nice little minute. And so I already knew that there was a lane for Christian rap. I just had determined that I was not going to do anything musically, period. Not that it was my gift to make that decision with, but I was just like, yo, I just want to know the Lord. I want relationship. I want to be saved. Like I want to live it for real.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a difference because a lot of times cats simply do stuff because they can do it and not because they've been called to do it. And there's danger in that as well.
Well, but I mean, it's the same thing, even like just with people like changing, you know, you hear people talking about like, you know, this is all I know how to do. I don't know there's not any other possibilities for me, you know, and, you know, maybe that's Satan whispering in our ear, or maybe it's just that familiarity
fear
for us, and we're
fear of trying something else. I mean,
yeah,
I got a really good friend right now
right.
who's just really unhappy at his job, and he keeps asking me, how did you change careers? How did you do it? And I'm like, man, you just have to make a sacrifice, and you gotta trust God's gonna provide. And I've changed careers 3 times. In the last 10 years, I've changed it 10 times. I went from video games to ministry to now self-employed. And it's, you know, that's a lot to do, but you just gotta get to it, and do it for the Lord too. I mean, the last 2 changes have been very similar, in which like I feel called to do this work.
Well, and I think the big question is, you know, and not just for this guy, but for anyone, you know, especially when you're young, like you kind of hit on a little bit ago, Swiss, you know, and that'd be the difference between you, where you had been in the faith for a while, right? You had grown and matured. When you're young, man, you gotta have a way to know, okay, how do I confirm that this is God talking to me? How do I know for sure that this is what he's trying to say and where he's trying to lead me, and not, you know, whether it's trickery or my own, you know, desires.
And I'm with you, KD. I'm not saying it's impossible that this guy couldn't hear from God in that moment. I do think it's to your point, it can be easily misinterpreted, and you could be telling yourself that you think it's God telling you that because that's what you want to believe.
Thanks.
My concern would be within a month, you probably don't have strong Christian community and biblical like men in your life that know every intricate detail of your life to help you make those discernment issues, right? So like guys in Dallas still that I text on a regular of like, hey, I'm processing this right now. I need some prayer, or I need some help. And like, boom, you know, I'll get 5 or 6 verses and like I'm praying for you, and like a phone call later that day, you know, stuff like that. And just like talking through it. When you're a month into being a Christian, that's not enough time to even develop that kind of deep level of like Christian community. And so that would be a concern I have. I'm going to bring up the next clip that he talks about here. Let's see, this is clip 3.
I wasn't really as mature in Christ at that time as I am now.
So I don't know why I clipped that so quick, but this is to point out something he says. I did this clip after watching it because he's going to say something later in a later clip that I'm going to reference this clip back to. But he talks about, he's already admitting that he doesn't have the maturity in Christ, yet he's already discerning mature things from the Lord and how he's processing what music he should be making. He goes on to talk about how he makes a song called Moses, and he starts to get a lot of affirmation from his friends and family from this. And I think that's what starts to fuel the turn. Well, I don't even think that's what he admits to is, hey, that starts to fuel how he's going to react to kind of the fame, if you will, of being a Christian artist. He goes on to say this.
I'm more reliant on myself to get my music out there than I'm relying on God. I'm depending on myself more than I'm depending on God. I'm in my heart and in my mind, I'm like, okay, I gotta get this out there. I gotta do what I gotta do. It's like I'm having that mentality of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this on my own, but I'm also doing this with God. So,
and this was probably the part of the video where I started to really relate with him, and started to kind of see what he's going through. So y'all know I've been working in ministry the past 4 or 5 years, full time, vocationally, and I can relate to the you're doing it, you're telling yourself that you're doing it for God, but really you are doing it for yourself. I think you can get so wrapped up into the process and the minutia of doing ministry work because you are helping people, you are contributing to the body, you are contributing in a way that glorifies God, but then it becomes interior to yourself of like, that becomes your identity, as the ministry is the identity, not God. And that's where he gets to, is that he's relying on himself for the music. He says, I actually did forget to clip this part out. In between here, he does talk about how he did feel after he released Moses, he felt the Lord talking to him again to stop making music, but he doesn't. He continues to make Christian music because he's fueling off of that affirmation from his friends and family. Here, B Plus has got a question. This may not pertain to the question you guys are answering, but do you just feel you have to find your God-given purpose type talk from pastors? The pressure may push some into mission. Absolutely. Like, I remember being in a service several years before I got into ministry where the pastor was talking about like devoting everything to God, right? The verse of like, in all that you do, give glory to God, work hard for God. And I remember walking away from them like, so am I just supposed to go into ministry at this point? And that wasn't the point of the sermon. The point was, hey, if you're going to be a trash man, you be the best trash man you can, so that people see that you're different and you're set apart from others. And so that was what really took away from it. But then years later, I did obviously go into ministry, but that was a different path and it felt different. But I do agree with that. So
I think to kind of get, respond to B Plus there a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I think we need to teach, especially young believers, that you don't have to find what God has for you. You just need to make yourself available and obedient and allow him to grow you and prepare you. And when it's right, he's going to bring you to that place, right? We don't have to go find it. But like you said, I mean, like, and part of it is church culture as well. Like when you're talking about, it feels good helping people. Well, we also have a habit of praising each other as well, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that that's inherently wrong, but it can add some difficulty to those situations because the praise feels good, right? And we like to, on the other side of it, the people that are praised, we just naturally put people on like little pedestals. I mean, I think it's something we want to do. We've talked about it a million times with, Kanye. We want people to like champion and get behind for the cause of the faith.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Katie's got to look. Yeah.
No, I'll counter. Because I think again, it just really speaks to making sure that you're in the right ministry. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, if I'm sitting under leadership if I'm at the right place, I'm sitting under a shepherd and not a hireling, right? Because there's a difference. Jesus distinctly makes a difference between the two, right? The hireling runs when trouble comes, all this other stuff goes on. The guy who's just doing it for a check, doing it as a job, he dips. He has no care or concern for the sheep. If I'm sitting under a shepherd And scripture talks about, even Jeremiah, talks about how God would give us shepherds after his heart. That person walks me through. That person is not just introducing me to the topic or conversation of purpose, but that person then is also equipping me to know what that looks like. That person is also feeding me on a consistent basis of what I need in order to arrive at that point or that place, whether it's actually just getting to that part of my destiny or preparing myself for the season in which God is going to reveal what it is that he's called for me to do, that I might go forward in it. Like, there's steps to that. And so what I wish was included in parts of this video was whether or not leadership was involved. Because even to Switch's point, a month in, hey, am I running past what I believe I'm hearing from God by my pastor? Do I have access to that? Do I have people around me who, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe he did.
You know what I'm
saying? But he doesn't
that's
say
what I'm
it.
saying. Like, don't put that out without including that part of it. You know what I'm saying?
And not all of us need to be the lead in the way that we think it should look, right? Like, I struggled for a long time. Like, dude, my dad was like a deacon at our church for like as long as I can remember. And I struggled with thinking, man, I don't know that I'll ever get there, But that's okay. That's the thing I've learned, is that's okay. Like, me being a deacon in a church might not be where God wants me, but I think God put me into education at 35 years old for a reason.
So you can shepherd children.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I think I've brought this up before in some context or not. And I totally relate with B's comment right here. Like, B+ used to live like 10 minutes from me, so he knows the area well, but he knows the church I used to work at. And I loved working there. I'm not disparaging my last church at all. I enjoyed working there a lot. I would recommend somebody to work there. But it isn't always what it seems. And it is still difficult. It is still trying. And I think that's when you get really tested in what your gifts are. I think the benefit of me going into ministry in the way that I did was it did reveal the gift that God has given me. It's not the gift I would have chosen. I don't enjoy project management, and I'm really good at it. Like, this is the one time I'll be immodest or not very humble about it, but like, I'm a really good project manager. But it's not what I set out to become. It's just skill and gift that God has given me. I'm just able to like beautiful mind things together because I had really good teachers that taught me how to do that in previous jobs before I got into ministry. And then when I got into ministry, again, the hindsight is the foresight. I can now see back like, oh, God was doing something here. He opened this door. He opened that door. He gave me this mentor. He gave me that mentor in these different seasons of my life to make me who I am now. And now, I mean, I really enjoy being a project manager now, and I can compartmentalize that work better because I can set it aside when I want to be creative and put it in when I need to be organizational.
Yeah, and it's because you were open and obedient, and you didn't like fight. You didn't try to run from it like Jonah.
But not only that though, but again, you said something that's big, because a lot of times we feel as though we have to like what it is that God has called us to do. And where does scripture say that at? What Bible y'all reading, man? Stop playing.
If it was up to me, I'd still be working at EA animating stuff, and that'd be really fun.
Develop your heart for what it is that he's purposed you to do. It doesn't always work the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, believe it or not, and people don't want to hear this because they think so negatively of them, but there's a lot of pastors who didn't want to be pastors. Like, there's a lot that comes along with pastoring a ministry that people don't understand. And like, if you're going to be a shepherd, it's different than just doing it for a check. You can't determine when to show up to the office. You got a real pastor doesn't have office hours because you're living this life. It's not only your commission and your vocation, but it's your cross as well. So, the idea that I have to, I just love what God has got. No, you get to that place after you said yes. You don't. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, God will develop your heart for what it is that he's called for you to do. It usually doesn't work the other way.
That is so well said. That is so true. Let me pull up the next clip. So let's do a quick recap if anyone's joining in late. We got a gentleman who became a Christian within a month, heard from God to make Christian music. He makes a song, gets affirmation, then hears from God to give it a rest, but instead he continues to make the music. This next clip is 5 seconds. I should have listed what the clip was because I can't remember the order now. So let's see what this one
If I
is.
just said, hey, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing because it just don't feel like God is in it.
Yeah. That's what it was. Is he then got to a point after making music, after he heard from God not to make it, he started to feel, okay, I am doing this for myself. I am trying to fuel the affirmation from others, which is interesting because in the previous clip, he already admitted that he's not mature enough in Christ to understand these things, right? And now he's making this video two years apart from that. And then here's clip 6.
Trying to use this thing that God told me to do in one season to affirm who I am completely in Jesus Christ. And it's like, that's not how things should be moving. I should be seeking after him and he will add those things onto me. I shouldn't be seeking the add-ons instead of him. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it became a problem. I'm seeking everything else that's but him.
And that's what you just kind of got to, KB, is that you will do you might be doing the calling that you have and you may not be enjoying it, but God will give you that love for it. But he's in the reverse where he's doing what he thinks he should be doing and not what God's telling him, and he's not enjoying it. So this is like the reverse of like, all right, I felt this calling, I'm doing this thing, I feel like I shouldn't be doing it anymore, and I'm not enjoying it because God's not in it anymore.
Yo, yours.
So, but LNF, shout out.
Shout out LNF.
KD. Since we got some people in here, we got a second recap really fast. It's Katie's birthday, y'all. Show him some love in the chat. Give him some birthday, and if you want to buy him a nice, refreshing dill pickle drink, go to yieldedmusic.com.
Not the Sonic send-off. Come on, dog. We're not giving free advertisement on these other spots.
Half price in the app, Katie. Half price in the app. Go on.
This is a real thing, a dill pickle drink?
Yes, bro. They
disgusting.
Got a whole pickle meal.
Disgusting.
Shout out to the pickle fans. No pickles were harmed in the making of these comments.
Yeah, they were. I hate
so
pickles.
Here's my question though. Is God schizo? Does God?
Okay, I was wondering if you were going to bring this up. Okay.
So again, remember, God has seen the end from the beginning and says, better is the end of the thing than the beginning thereof. We're talking about God who purposed us before the foundations of the world and knew what it was that we're going to go through. Now, we are very finite. Appreciate you, bro. God is infinite. We follow science, but God is omniscient. We have a very limited capacity to understand certain things. So, with that being said, because this is not just within a month's time that I get saved and hear God and God tells me to make a song, and then almost a month later, God tells me to stop making music and I don't listen.
I don't know if it was a month after that. I don't think he actually
I'm trying to hash them out.
Yeah.
But remember though, we're also talking about within a period of 2 years, give or take, less than, because this is the timeline that we've been provided from the story. You know what I'm saying? So again, ultimately at the end of the day, didn't God know what you were going to deal with ahead of giving you this commission? And then God turns and pivots and says, stop. And you're like, no, I'm going to keep going. We have to be careful because, again, this is why I'm like, there's got to be other details to this story that if you're not going to share or provide, don't tell the story. Because at the end of the day,
and
we
this
have
is
to
where
be mindful of how we make God look.
That's
why I said the title was clickbaity.
Well, okay, so and going off of that, so you did say it's clickbaity. For those who don't know, the title of this video we're looking at was making Christian hip hop took me away from Jesus, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So my response question was, is God going to ever call you to something that's going to take you away from him?
Well, okay, so time out, because let's be very realistic. And this is something that, again, I don't think we talk about enough. The end of First John, John tells them, little children, keep yourself from idols. This is how he ends First John, right? He's talking to believers, because the Bible is written to believers. The Bible is not written to sinners. So when we talk about warnings against idolatry, we're talking about warnings that are being given to believers. Could I very well begin to worship the gift as opposed to worshiping the gift giver? Absolutely. Could I worship the marriage or worship the car? You know how many people pray for a job and then get a job that has them working on Sundays? And so now you're away from the presence of the Lord because I got to get paid, dog. If I don't work, I don't eat. Yeah, but God knew that. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. So now, is it that God is going to set me up to fail? God wouldn't do that. But again, God knows my heart and does. And it's wicked and it's deceitful above all things. Who can be? So it's not that God says one thing, and when we get in it, it's up to us to make sure that it stays and maintains and prospers and grows in what it was that God intended for it. God put Adam and Eve in the most beautiful setup and said, this is what I'm going to do, and this is our relationship, and this is how it's going to go. You're expressly in my image and likeness. Adam, Eve, you're in the image and likeness of Adam. Don't eat from this tree. And what happened? They ate from
it was delicious.
The tree. I've never had fruit like this before. They ate from the tree, and
it's like mango pineapple.
We've been tripping on the tree ever since. And so it's not that God does it, but again, our hearts can be taken away. And so this is why the routine maintenance, the community, the church, like all of these things, the reading and the praying on the daily, this is why all of these things are so vitally important, because we can be taken, we can be carried away with the thing. Every bad pastor didn't start off that way. We can get carried away with the things that we've been blessed with. It is something that happens. So no, it's not that.
But that is that the thing. Doing that, because I think what you're saying.
No, it's not the thing. It's us
getting in our own way. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good reminder. My last day at the church that I worked at. This was the last sermon I heard from TA Timothy Ateek. He was reading from Chronicles 28:9, which says, this is David's charge to Solomon. And you, Solomon, my son, know the God of your father and serve him with a whole heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord searches all hearts and understands every plan and thought. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. And the little blurb that I put that TA asked in that time was, am I seeking God more for ministry or for intimacy? And the reason I wrote that down was because after a while you do get into the rigmarole where I'm doing it for the ministry. I'm not doing it for the intimacy. I'm doing it because it's my job. I'm getting paid to do it. And I have a to-do list that I need to knock out and I have to complete this. And then because there's another thing that's coming down the line that I need to get the due date done. And when you get into that motion over and over again, you can get, over your capacity, and you can start to do ministry for ministry, not for intimacy. And I think that's what this guy was getting towards.
Yeah. Yep. You're leaning on self and depending on self because you're the vessel that's being used, but you forget that you're the vessel that's being used.
I mean, it's similar to the argument that I have with people who like to talk about church hurt and that and that causes the deconstruction or walking away. I'm like, no. Like that, other people can't determine that for you.
Dirty words. Big facts. Stop blaming other people for you leaving. Yep.
All right, we got 2 more clips from this video. And I think it ends up turning out pretty good where he leads off. So let's see where he takes it.
I try to hold myself down in one place in disobedience because I wanted to affirm myself in the music instead of being with him. And I feel like this robbed me of so much. And if I could go back, I would obey him the first time.
Man, that hit. Like, even just hearing it again now, I got goosebumps. It's like you can even see it in his face and the way that he's talking. Like, he regrets not obeying. He sees the like the fig tree in his life, if you will, that isn't producing good fruit because of the disobedience. And like, he's lamenting on the fact that, man, if I could go back, I would have obeyed, and I'd probably be in a better place. Or at least he's not saying that directly, he's saying that indirectly.
But it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Exactly.
And that's the thing too that I think a lot of times we don't consider. How much is doing what I want to do costing me? Because we can only see what we can see. We don't see everything that's going on in the unseen. Sorry for all my fundamentalists. This is what it is. Scripture is very explicit. We don't see all the stuff that's going on in the unseen, man. We don't know.
Yeah, go read 2 Kings with Elisha and the chariots. He's like, open this dude's eyes so we can see all the
they that are with us are more than them that are look. We don't know how much is me doing what I want to do costing me. What am I losing? What's being stolen from me? How far back is this setting me? Like, with regards to God's timeline, and I'm soberly assessing this as I am saying it, in regards to God's timeline, where is this keeping me? Because again, at the end of the day, God is not going to operate away from or outside of his word. He's given himself a set of parameters to abide by. It is part of his immutable counsel. So how much is this costing me? So it's definitely there, whether he expressly says it or not. And again, it's something that, we should soberly consider. How much is this costing me?
Yeah. Let's pop the last clip. This is the longest clip.
Be very careful with how you look at people online, because you can't be comparing what God's doing with somebody else to what God's doing with you. Because when you try to do that, then you start to chase after false concepts and false ideas instead of chasing after what God has for you. It's better just to seek him first instead of trying to affirm your identity in these things that are in the world and everything that he has to add to you.
Yeah, so I love that, the way this video ends, man. I was like, man, a lot of young artists need to see this. Because Eric, when you sent this, you're like, I want to talk about this next week. When I started the video, I was like, all right, I'm ready to break this fool down. Like, let's see where he's off, where his logic is. But like, he really does set a foundation for this. Is a testimony of how you can get into ministry work. Because let's be real, if you're an artist who's making music for Christians to consume, that is a ministry. That is a ministry tool. It is a way for you to encourage the body, which is part of ministry. It is a gift. And yeah, you could just start relying on yourself in that.
You don't get to excuse that calling away.
No.
If it truly is a calling, you do not get to turn it into something else.
And if it is a calling, and if we can agree to that, then if you're just doing it as an artist, you need to sit down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed watching him talk about it. He says boom a lot, which I thought was funny. I wanted to do a super cut of all the times he said boom and just like splice them together. But I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to blow this cat up. But I was encouraged by the video. I think it's a good warning. It's a good hindsight is foresight conversation. I think it's good for artists to hear, and just it's a good reminder because this guy experienced this in his first 2 years of being a Christian. I experienced it 10 years into being a Christian. And so it doesn't matter where you are in your walk, you can easily fall into that. B Plus is saying this episode is hitting because I felt God nudging me to take a sabbatical from my radio show. And after initially not feeling it, but after seeking him, I decided to trust him and stop. 7-week break. Yeah, man, I almost announced it last week. Hey, man, pray for B Plus, but you hadn't posted your video yet. So, yeah, man, shoot me a call, man. I work at home all day. So this week's a little busy though, but call me on the weekend.
Dude, I mean, some people might, tune in and watch us here on YouTube. Some people might listen to the audio version, whatever it may be, and say, hey, man, those FiveTwenty guys, man, they're hard on CHH, or they're whatever, knocking it down. Like, dude, like we've said this before, we say this stuff and we talk about these topics and these discussions because we care. We want to see it living up to its fullest potential, right? We've got to be able to be honest about where we're at on things, man. And like Swiss was saying, know what your purpose is and make sure that that's what you're chasing after, as the young man said. Like, yeah, you might be able to rap, but what good is being the best Christian rapper if you're not the best Christian that you can be?
Yeah. Well, and I think too, the three of us are actually, Eric, I'm not sure how old you are, but I think you're older than me.
96.
You were born in 96. Then I'm definitely, I was saying, no, you were not.
No.
But so here's an interesting thing that I think about a lot. I think about this almost too much in like a philosophical way, but we are of like the second generation that grew up with hip hop. Almost kind of first, like how you have like a millennial and a zillennial, where it's like, oh, you're almost there, but you're not there. Like, we're the first generation that grew up with it. And so now you have this third generation coming in who is experiencing what hip hop is, and it's got all these variations and forms that we didn't grow up with. And so we have the three of us remember like block party hip hop, where it was just fun. It wasn't necessarily derogatory. It was kind of conscious. It was fun. It was like it was something you put on the background for a party. Now it's like, man, you can't put that on a party. Like, you can't, like, what people might, and they probably do, but like what they play in the club now compared to what they played in the club when we were growing up, vastly different.
TV, man.
Yeah, exactly. When Cardi B is getting Apple Plus interviews, there's a problem with society. But anyways, we are in this generation that gets to kind of look back. We're the Deuteronomy of hip hop, like we are the warning the next generation. Like, these are the pitfalls that we have seen other artists go through, that we have seen the culture change.
That's it right there, Swiss, that I was trying to get to, and I kind of lost track of where I was going a minute ago. But like, the three of us have been in and around and part of CHH long enough that we've seen things. We know things. Like, if we wanted to really go off on some behind the scene type stuff, like, we could sell a book to probably like a couple hundred people, but the point is, like, there's stuff that we are very aware of, and we're not out here pointing fingers and spilling tea and all that kind of stuff on people. We're out here saying, okay, let's have conversation so that this doesn't go further, so that this becomes better, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So
the next generation can thrive and prosper.
Or even
we were just talking about Forrest Frank before getting on here. Like, the dude's passing Drake on YouTube right now, and he makes good music.
Dude, even
man, EB's got that. Are you sure the storm isn't where he's living?
That's the Starlink, bro. It'll get you every time.
Is he on? I'm on Starlink. I'm not having any issues.
Oh, you good. I think you're in the open country of Colorado with the fresh air and the altitude. It's probably benefit.
It's 67 degrees right now. It's nice out.
That's beautiful. But to Eric's point, and then also, with B plus and just kind of chiming in, like if you love people, man, you say, you know what I'm saying? He saw the Sugar Hill game. Record. LNL.
I mean, almost.
But I mean, that's what it was back then. You know what I'm saying? And these are the breaks in basketball. Like it was just, it was different. You know what I'm saying? And out of care and concern. So it's not even out of care and concern for the genre. It's out of care and concern for the body and for what the body is supposed to be producing or reproducing, which again, we're failing at, man. And so a lot of the things that we don't like is because a lot of the people who could be influential in helping individuals grow up straight and strong, a lot of the sticks that are needed. We talk about like the plants all the time. You see how those plants are tied to the sticks in the garden. They need the structure to grow up straight and strong. A lot of us who could be sticks don't want to be sticks. We don't see the value in helping the kingdom grow, helping the kingdom advance. And that's a problem, which means that, again, we think too highly of ourselves and we're not playing the role and playing the position that God would give us to. That don't mean you just got to be a stick, but maybe for a season, God is saying, hey, help straighten some of these plants out so that they're not growing sideways, but that they're taking root downward and growing upward, which is what scripture tells us that we're supposed to do. So it ain't about being hard or being harsh. If you take it that way, praise God, get some thicker skin. But at the end of the day, it's really about open rebuke being better than secret love. And it's really about, man, if you love me, feed my sheep. And it's really about going to the highways and hedges and compelling me to come in that my kingdom might be filled. It's about those things, bro. You're being replicated and duplicated. Do you see this in real time? How's that?
I don't know what Eric's trying to do in the background. He's like hacking.
I wonder if he's coming on
right
with
now.
a fake beard too. I want to see
y'all can probably hear me. I don't know.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what's happening. Like, dude, my entire browser like crashed. I was using a different browser, so I went into my normal one, but it's saying it can't find my camera even though it's on. So I don't know. I'm trying to whatever. I may just sit back and listen to y'all, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
Just,
there he goes again.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, you are? Okay. You just cut the camera.
Yeah. I just cut it. I'm like, whatever. Okay. It's fine.
You people like that dude from Backstreet that announced the Family Feud. Go get it.
People ain't want to see me on this stuff anyway. It's fine. I've got a voice. No, wait, a face for radio and a voice that shouldn't be on anything. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Bro.
Swiss is a great example of Jesus Christ, y'all.
No, I'm not. But to Lost and Found, your comment here, I did. So this is why I say I'm like second generation. So I grew up in the Bay Area, and MC Hammer used to eat breakfast at the same diner my dad would take me to before baseball games. So I would see MC Hammer all the time, and he always had his entourage there, and it was like this podunk diner. It wasn't anything special. And I always thought it was weird because he lived in this mansion up on the hills of Fremont, California, and I would see it all the time when we drove to school. And so I did meet MC Hammer quite a bit as a kid. Was a big fan. Someone sent Eric an Obama phone.
Hammer is like, I don't know. I think I would call Hammer like third almost generation.
Third?
Like,
you think third generation? Okay.
Yeah, bro. Like,
yeah, he's like 89, 90 to 91.
Right. So we're talking about now moving out of that Big Daddy Kane phase into, because Kane was singing rap. So you had him, you had Dougie Fresh, you had Kwame, guys who were starting to actually perform versus just, you know what I'm saying? And then you had Hammer who took over the top with the spandex and the pants and the shiny. He was,
Don't forget Vanilla Ice Ninja Rap on Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze.
Hey.
Yeah,
but Hammer
things are better left unspoken.
Hey, Hammer always had his Jesus music too, though.
I mean, pray. We got to pray. Just to
Please don't pass me
probably
by.
one of the most disrespectful things people have ever said to me in my life is that, "Hey, you look like MC Hammer." I'm like, "Where? Stop playing, Kick Rocks."
Well, you do kind of
I'm
look like
sorry,
him.
but stop it. Stop
I
it.
shouldn't
I shouldn't have said nothing because clearly you
Dude, you
agree
got a
with
little
Eric
bit,
that he has
man.
a
You got
face
a little
for
bit.
for radio.
let's pull up
You got a little bit of
picture
hammer.
of
Don't
in
MC
do
you.
it. Don't do
You got a
it.
little bit of hammer in you, KD. Let's get you.
Yes, you do.
Stop. Hey man, get off the internet.
No, hold up. I got it. You're telling me this dude doesn't look like you. Hold up.
Hey, do not put a picture on the screen.
You know what? I won't because it's your birthday, but everyone
Thank
go Google MC Hammer. And
Negative.
the first picture that comes up
Why
looks
y'all gonna
just
give
like
Hammer
this dude.
press, man? Listen, don't do it.
Dude, y'all got the same bloodline somewhere, dude.
I hope not, man.
You use the word
All you
podunk
gotta
correctly
do-
in a sentence. You show your age. Yeah.
Hey, before we get close to wrapping it up here, so I want to talk just real briefly about that conversation between Ruslan and Rodney Jerkins.
Jerkins.
Please. Yeah.
So for those who didn't see it, Rodney was on Ruslan, it was with Ruslan anyway. It's on Ruslan's channel. I'm sure they had a bigger interview, but the clip that I saw, he was like asking, he's like, I really just want to know. I don't get it. Like, why do like Christian platforms like YouTube channels, etc., not cover Christian hip hop, but they'll talk about stuff that's happening in the mainstream? And then he like also went like, it took it a step further, saying, "Hey, why are some of the artists that I signed to this label wanting me to get them connected with guys in the mainstream instead of working with other artists, in the CHH world?" So I thought that was interesting conversation too. I think it kind of has a connection to what we've been talking about here tonight.
Yeah, I thought Ruslan's answer was pretty good. One, he says, "I cover Christian artists all the time," and he does. He does. He does. He does.
It'd be interesting to break it down and see what the percentage is, though.
Yeah, bro, because at the end of the day, I don't want to watch Ruslan talk about Jada and Will, but there's videos of Ruslan talking about Jada and Will.
Sure.
Like, what kingdom purpose does that serve? Because you're not slanting anything that they're doing through that lens. It's one thing to talk about Will's record that he did with the Sunday Service Choir, but it's entirely different to talk about Will and Jada stuff. Like, what point? We're not TMZ.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think one here's something that I can see in the space is, and I'm guilty of this too. So this isn't like a shot at anyone particular. It's really more a shot at me. It's like I could spend more time. Most of my YouTube and Instagram watching is apologetic stuff. It's not Christian hip hop. Though my Instagram does get a lot of Christian hip hop on it. I just don't look at my Instagram every day. I might look at it twice a week. And so I'm more inundated with apologetics information. Right now I'm getting a ton of Greek stuff because I'm studying Greek, but it really depends on what you're looking at. And I think a lot of Christians can listen to Christian music because they like the vibe and they like the sound. And I think that's why, this is going to sound critical, but I don't mean it to be critical because I think there's a space for it. I think some of the music is so Christian surface level that they don't get deep into it. Where if you were to go listen to something like No Big Deal's The People We Became, that is a rich Christian hip hop album that will go over I think half of people's heads won't get that album. But everyone can understand a Forrest Frank God is Good album. You know what I mean? And so
hey, let me ask you a question about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ask you a question. So that album, No Big Deal,
sure,
came out last year, right? It wasn't this year.
It was a 2024.
Okay. So if you were stacking it up even against the mainstream, does it holds its own weight, right? I mean, that's
absolutely fair. I think it's one of the best albums I've heard in the last 10 years.
But how many? But to
I watch Christian basketball.
but to Rodney's point though, how come the space wasn't blowing up Dill's record?
I mean, we were though. I mean, CHH
Was
talked
it,
through the whole
though?
bracket. We held well, not we. On my channel, I did like an album of the year breakdown where we looked at albums of the year and talked about it.
Was it anywhere close to the chatter that you would see when Kendrick drops?
Of course not.
Or Kendrick versus Drake.
Well, why
Let's
not?
talk about
Well,
that.
that's the
and
question.
all the
Why
outlets covered
No,
that?
but the question is within CHH itself, why would
Because we want
Dill
the world's affirmation, and
why
and
would Dill
we
not get
can't.
the same?
Well, I think objectively, we can all agree whether or not we like the content or not. Kendrick's probably one of the best writers in rap. I mean, the dude's won a Pulitzer on a rap album. I don't even think that's debatable. And so I think if you grow up if Rakim dropped an album tomorrow, I would listen to it.
But I'm not asking the underground hip hop fan to like it. I'm asking why are people say I'm a fan of Christian hip hop, not putting as much into a project like a No Big Deal as they do.
Know.
Hey, the clips just dropped. You know, that was part of Rodney's
Yep.
thing there was, the clips dropped. Let's talk about it.
Yep.
Let's big up Push and Coke.
I think it's a here's one thing is I think most Christian hip hop fans aren't Christian hip hop fans. They're rap fans.
Oh man.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm just telling you what it is.
But if you're just a rap fan, what's the point? Like, because everyone wants to act like the best. I mean, everyone wants to say that's the narrative, right? That the best rappers are in the mainstream. They're out in the world.
But he wasn't just talking about CHH. He was talking about Christian content, period. He said, when I watch these shows, these platforms, and then he talked about how gospel artists will run down a list of secular artists as inspiration.
Exactly.
Which is, again, crazy work.
But that's not crazy because it's not like you grew up a Christian and only listen to Christian music.
Facts.
That's very rare.
Though, once I move into that dynamic, I should have reference points. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't listen to nobody who does what I do.
This isn't Jackie Hill Perry on Rapzilla.
Man,
well, and this isn't a conversation about whether you should listen to secular music or not either. This is
not today.
Why do we not hold our own in the same esteem?
Well, I think there are people that do, right? Like I know B+, I know Lost and Found here who are chatting here. I know they do. I know I hold it to a higher standard. Like 95% of what I listen to is Christian hip hop. The other 5% is Chris Stapleton. Like and scores for movies that don't have lyrics. And that's because even when I do listen, like I listened to the new Evidence album that came out this week because I grew up listening to Evidence, and I love his production. I wanted to hear the beats, and the music isn't edifying, but it's also not derogatory or what's the word I'm looking for? Like it definitely has explicit words in it, but it's not used in like a man, it's going to make it sound like I'm making an excuse, and I don't want to do that.
I'm just waiting.
What I'm saying is like there are ways in which there's a difference between the way Cardi B makes music and the way the Roots make music, for example, right? Like I don't think listening to old Roots music, who I've seen 12 times in concert, they're not rapping about sex, drugs, and all this stuff. They're just rapping about what's going on in their lives and story. They're telling stories. That's the kind of stuff I can listen to, and like with my discernment beyond, you know what, maybe this one isn't good. This one I don't have a bad conviction on. And I think there's a lot of people like that. but that's very rare for me. That's like I said, that's in the 5% of music that I'm listening to that falls in that category. And most of the time I don't re-listen to it. So KD's gonna go in on me, y'all.
Negative, because we're not having a conversation tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I will also agree with what LNF just dropped, and that's crazy work. Yep. But that I'm not gonna wholeheartedly agree with it because, again, for us as believers, our gauge has to change. I don't care what it was when I was out there. I'm not out there anymore. So I don't care if everybody else calls it classic. Mama call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, at the end of the day, I don't align myself with those things that I used to align myself that would have allowed me to consider this particular piece in the light that it's considered by other individuals who I am no longer aligned with. Like, our gauge has to change. Your appetite has to change. Your taste buds have to change once you give your life to Christ. Like, this is part of the problem, and this is why we find ourselves in these spaces. And we just, again, the video, with the young artists on tonight. Like, it's very easy to hear God tell us to do something that we want to do, something that I'm already predispositioned for. I'm familiar with this. I have affinity for this. Very easy to be encouraged to move in that path. And this God, you know what I'm saying? This God, do you know how many times we put God's name on stuff that God ain't got nothing to do with?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same, reason why, like, or it's the same thing behind, Lecrae keep seeking that attention with every mainstream artist he collabs with.
Yeah, but I'm gonna listen. I can't wait to listen to Lecrae's album on Friday. I really can't. I'm actually more excited to listen to Jared Sanders' album this week.
But at the end, but like with that, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not going to matter to the world. You could do a record with Eminem, Jay-Z, the biggest of the big, right? Kendrick. And it's not.
Doesn't Lecrae's album have like a Killer Mike and T.I. on it?
Something like that, yeah. So, anyway, good combo tonight, guys. On KD's birthday.
Thanks.
Again.
Hey, welcome back to watching B+ too.
Yeah.
It was fun having B+ and LNF back chatting.
Facts.
Missed Kyle Manning today, though.
Facts.
He might be hanging out. Who knows?
What if Kyle Manning and LNF are the same person because they're never on the show at the same time?
Oh, they have been. They have been.
I'm gonna such go things as burner accounts. Shout out.
I'm gonna believe what KD just said because I don't know when the last time I seen them.
He's got two monitors up.
I'm just saying, going at it.
Yeah, man. KD's birthday. Go to yieldedmusic.com. Which one is it, KD? Yieldedmusic.com, man, and give him a little birthday love on yieldedmusic.com, man. So, give him a couple of bucks here or there, Kyle a fraud.
Yeah.
Hey, we love Lost and Found. We love Kyle. Swiss, any final thoughts, man?
No, I thought it was a good conversation. Lord willing, we're back next Monday. I can't wait. I mean, since Eric, you show up for your anniversary and KD shows up for his birthday, I don't see a reason why we won't be here next Monday.
Boom. Said no truer words said. No truer words. KD.
Nah, just appreciate y'all, man. Blessed to be able to hang out with you guys. Definitely praise God for another year. And then shout out to the family and everybody who tuned in, and I appreciate y'all. Love you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you already know what is hope. The plan is to be back next week right here on FiveTwenty IXC, FiveTwenty Collective for the entire crew, man. You already know what it is. Indie Christian culture. Don't forget to have your pets spayed and neutered, ladies and gentlemen. We out of here. Let's go.
Chill.
Later.